The real reasons why you have Praxis 2 test anxiety. Your heart feels like it's beating right out of your chest. You're breathing rapidly, despite not physically exerting yourself. If this sounds all too familiar when you think about the Praxis 2 tests, then chances are that you've got a case of some serious Praxis 2 test anxiety. While test anxiety affects everyone to a certain degree, and those who deny it are simply lying, some Praxis 2 test takers are affected by it far more than others. However, instead of assuming that nervousness and anxiety will be an inevitable part of your Praxis 2 study guide, get ready for a few surprising revelations. While calming methods will help you cope with Praxis 2 test anxiety, they actually won't help you tackle the stubborn root of the problem. Let's explore common reasons why you're dreading those Praxis 2 tests. You didn't prepare for the Praxis 2 test. The most common root of test anxiety comes from the feeling as though you didn't do your test preparation effectively. Whether you simply didn't have enough time for the Praxis 2 study or are undermining your own efforts. Ineffective preparation will leave you feeling shaken and anxious for the day of the exam. Instead of throwing your hands up in defeat, simply re-energize your study guide with a better Praxis 2 study guide and a tutor who can give you real-time help when you need it. Of course, you could be more prepared for the Praxis 2 test, but you'll never feel that way due to one major problem, which will be explored in the next section. You aren't confident in your Praxis 2 test-taking abilities. If you've got a study plan that expert tutors would be envious of, but are still feeling anxious about taking the Praxis 2 test, then there's another culprit to blame. That's right, your lack of self-confidence. While you should walk into the exam room expecting to make mistakes, this doesn't mean that you should automatically expect to fail. To combat your low confidence levels, give yourself a pep talk each time you finish your Praxis 2 study. Tell yourself exactly why you deserve to pass the Praxis 2 test, and remind yourself of the times when you achieved a major victory in your life. Whether you lost weight or simply aced a difficult test, these little reminders will help you realize that you're a person who deserves everything you want. Your picture of the worst-case scenario with your Praxis 2 study. While there are people out there with a naturally pessimistic view of the world, this doesn't mean that you should expect the very worst from your test-taking session. After all, you deserve to give yourself a break. Imagine worst-case scenarios isn't the way of preparing yourself in case you hear bad news. It's a surefire way of ensuring that you won't succeed. Period. For every negative scenario you imagine, picture 3 best-case scenarios. Imagine how good it will feel to have your own classroom with students who admire you. That will certainly make your inner critic hush up. For more help to defeat the Praxis 2 test anxiety and pass the Praxis 2 exam, go to www.teachingsolutions.org/praxisii.html right now.